I'm Kieran, welcome to Gunrats. Today we're on the range, Huntgroup shotguns, the VM15 series, fresh out of Turkey. We did a review on these probably 2-3 years ago, if not more, and I thought it would be a good time to revisit. We've got all the different colors on display here today. Guns are available in a nice durable Cerakote black, the FDE, the flat dark earth, and the olive drab green, which is behind me over here. In my hands, I'm holding the 18.5-inch version. It's also available in a slightly shorter 12.5-inch barreled version. These guns are unchoked. They are made for tactical purposes, nice close quarters, semi-automatic, gas-operated, box-fed magazines. As you see them here, they come standard with a 10-shot magazine and also a slightly shorter 5-shot magazine. And when you purchase one of these, you'll get one of each in the box. So let's have a brief look at them before we start playing with them a little bit. So what we have here is a typical profile of an AR-15, and ergonomically they're not far off. They're actually quite similar. If you're used to an AR-15 platform, you'll find that you're quite familiar with this firearm. The only real difference being your cocking handle being on the bolt itself, whereas on the AR-15 style firearms it would be here at the back. Also, telescopic 4-position buttstock, adjustable cheek piece, just a little wheel here that fastens it wherever you feel comfortable. I'm just going to put it flat for now. The grip itself, very typical of an AR-15, but it's molded in to the lower, so you cannot remove this or change it in any way. Your magazine release is right here, nice and convenient for your trigger finger. On this side over here, we have a bolt release button. So all very, very similar to the AR-15 platform. This little carry handle over here, although very, very handy, made out of the same polymer material as the lower, nice and resistant to wear, stronger than it probably looks. If I owned this firearm, I would take this off. 2 little lock nuts over here, pops off. Front sight, little button over here, depress it. Front sight pops off, and I'd put it on a optic sight. A nice little red dot, maybe a 4 MOA or a 6 MOA for quick sight acquisition. And I would put this on here, making it a little bit smaller and definitely quicker to shoot. We'll show you a little bit closer later. The rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation and has a couple of different apertures that you can choose from a V to a little pin and to a peep sight, and those are duplicated or replicated on the front sight too. I personally, with my aging eyes, I prefer the little pin and I prefer the V, but ultimately I would prefer an optic, a little red dot sight. Underneath this rail is a Picatinny rail. Put on your red dot optic. That rail extends all the way to the front, so you can really mount it wherever you like. I think quite a nice feature is that you have a small section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slots, a little tactical rail, Picatinny rail on the right hand side and on the port side, as well as underneath. So if you want to attach a little flashlight, a tactical flashlight or a laser, lasers are obviously quite handy as a deterrent as well. You have all these little places to attach that, which I think is quite a nice feature. And also when you handle the firearm, you're not that far forward where these are uncomfortable. Typically you are going to want to purchase this side of them, so they're not really in the way. Nice little holes here, it's just an aesthetic feature. I think it's quite pretty. This one's got an 18.5-inch barrel. The muzzle brake is not really a brake, it's more aesthetics and adds as a bit of a weight on the 18.5-inch version. You'll notice if you look at the close-ups that it actually doesn't protrude past the barrel. So it has no real practical function other than to look good and to act as a bit of a weight. But your thread is over here and the thread is also on the front of the muzzle brake. Like I said before, these are not choked, so they are cylinder bore, and they are really designed for operating at relatively close quarters. I think with a slug you could probably push it to 30-40 meters depending on your own capability, but using larger shot, I would say anything under 25 meters is pretty much where this gun comes into its own. We're restricted on the range today with distance. We're going to shoot relatively close and just see how they function and just run through the gun itself. Pretty simple operation. Insert a magazine, rack the bolt, let her go, and just carry on firing until you're out of ammo. The beauty, of course, of a 10-shot box magazine is that unlike a tube magazine where you're out of ammunition, you have to have spare separate individual rounds on you, and under stress you have to try and get them into that magazine tube. On this one, you simply depress the magazine button, release button, there's your mag, drop it on the floor, grab a spare one already loaded, one item, 10 rounds or 5 rounds, pop her in again, hit your bolt release, and there you carry on going and you're good for 10 rounds. All aluminium construction, except for the lower, like we said, is a polymer and the sights. The bolt, of course, and the barrel are made of a quality steel. So this shotgun, as it is here now, with the recoil pad extended all the way to its max, and there are 4 different positions you can choose from depending on your length of pull and the confines in which you're working. At its maximum, it is a fraction over a meter. The slightly shorter gun with a 12.5-inch barrel, I have one over here, fully extended, is about 10 centimeters, 4 inches shorter. A little bit more convenient for use in a vehicle, particularly if you put on the 5-shot mag, it becomes a little bit more of a compact gun. The nice thing is that you have these 2 options. You've got an 18.5-inch barreled gun and you've got a 12.5-inch barreled gun. Like I say, not too much difference in the length, but it can make a difference in confined spaces, and the choice is yours. These are also available in 3 different colors. Also nice little muzzle brake. The guns are typically easy to strip, easy to clean, easy to maintain, and they generally shoot like an absolute dream. All in all, a very, very attractive firearm. I like these little colors that they've put on here for the safety. Safety, by the way, we mentioned before, very, very similar to an AR style. Flip down to shoot, flip up to be on safe. And the safety in this case blocks the firing, the trigger itself. All in all, a very, very nice package. And I'm dying to put a couple of rounds down range and see how she performs. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.